Welcome to the boardroom, everyone. Let's get straight down to business. I'm stepping in as your managing director today, and we are treating this explainer as a high-level corporate boardroom masterclass. Your ultimate objective, preparing for a major compliance pitch. Now, in your academic portfolio, this translates directly to those high-tariff, heavily weighted exam questions on the Cambridge AS and A-level accounting syllabus. We are specifically tackling syllabus area 084, the ethical framework in accounting. To give you some context on why we're doing this, I want you to picture two junior consultants on my team. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Consultant Alex is brilliant with numbers. They have all the data points locked in their head, but their executive summary delivery, it's terrible. It's disorganized and frankly confusing. Then we have consultant Sam. Sam is a highly persuasive, confident speaker who can command a room, but completely lacks the physical asset and case study backing to support any of those claims. Today, we are going to train you so that you absolutely do not make the mistakes of Alex or Sam. We're taking your approach from a messy, disorganized draft and transforming it into a flawless, boardroom-ready executive pitch. Let's dive in. Look closely at this statement. This isn't just some casual observation I'm making. It's a direct, literal quote from the principal examiner reports. It says, examiners report that the ethical framework in accounting is one of the most misunderstood areas. The stakes here are incredibly high, guys. The historical failure rate for fully capitalizing on these ethics questions is precisely why we are holding this masterclass right now. You see, students consistently leave massive amounts of marks on the table. Why? Because they treat ethics as this vague, subjective, philosophical topic where any opinion works. In reality, it is a highly structured compliance matrix. You cannot just guess your way through it. You need a system. So here's our itinerary for today's session. Phase 1, the client brief. Phase 2, core compliance principles. Phase 3, the procedural pipeline. Phase 4, boardroom level evaluation. And finally, Phase 5, the examiner's audit. Let's kick things off with Phase 1, the client brief. When you first look at an exam question, I need you to completely change your mindset. You shouldn't view it as an academic test. Instead, view it exactly like a client brief that must be expertly decoded. Remember our junior consultant, Alex? Well, Alex reads the brief and immediately starts throwing random facts at the wall, hoping something sticks. We literally cannot do that. The board is looking for competence across 3 highly specific cognitive domains. We have knowledge and understanding, we have analysis, and we have evaluation. Successful candidates, the ones who actually secure those elite executive-level marks, must demonstrate competence across all 3 of these domains. Think about it like an investment portfolio. You can't just define a term and stop. That's just knowledge. You can't just evaluate a scenario without a foundational definition. That's building a house without a foundation. You must allocate your intellectual energy proportionately across this entire matrix to show the examiners you fully grasp the brief.
Moving right along to Phase 2, core compliance principles.
You simply cannot make a high-level strategic recommendation without mastering these absolute basics. This is exactly where consultant Sam usually fails. Sam tries to be super persuasive and confident without actually knowing the technical definitions to back it up. We had a strategy debate yesterday, actually. Sam wanted to talk about doing the right thing, while Alex wanted to just recite a textbook page. I had to step in and remind them both. Integrity, objectivity, and professional competence are not just corporate buzzwords. They are the foundational pillars of the entire accounting ethical framework. The source material makes it abundantly clear. The theoretical architecture rests on absolutely precise definitions and a causal understanding. Let's break them down. Integrity means being completely straightforward and honest in all professional relationships. Objectivity means not allowing bias, conflict of interest, or undue influence to override your professional or business judgments. Professional competence, that requires maintaining your professional knowledge and skill at the exact level required to ensure clients receive competent service. Do not paraphrase these loosely on the day of the pitch. You need to memorize their precise technical architecture. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is connection. Connecting the dots. This is a massive high-value insight pulled directly from the principal examiner reports, and it's what separates the junior staff from the senior partners. The theoretical architecture of ethics doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It requires integration with other syllabus areas. The examiners explicitly note that candidates who reference cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. It's all about synergy. If you are discussing a depreciation policy in your exam, link it back to objectivity. Are they altering depreciation to manipulate profit? If you are discussing inventory valuation, tie it right back to professional competence and integrity. Show the board that you see the whole picture, not just isolated fragments. All right, let's step into Phase 3, the procedural pipeline. Quick pause before we break this down. To ensure your academic portfolio remains highly competitive, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Ace the Exams, at Ace the Exams, and enable notifications for our weekly consulting insights. We want you at the top of your game. Okay, back to the pipeline. I want you to start framing your answer process as a standardized manufacturing pipeline. Why? Because Cambridge awards what we call method marks for the structural process itself. Alex and Sam actually encountered a critical flaw in their mock proposal essay yesterday because their syntax was completely misaligned with the Peel formatting matrix: point, evidence, explanation, link. Systematic processing within the ethical framework follows a very strict, standardized sequence. Step 1. Identify the key elements of the scenario. Step 2. Apply the relevant principles, like integrity or objectivity. Step 3. Execute your analysis with clear, documented working. Step 4. Verify your results. And Step 5. Present it in the appropriate format. Examiners explicitly award marks for following this exact sequence. If you skip from identifying the problem straight to your conclusion without executing clear analysis, you are breaking the pipeline, and you are going to lose those vital method marks. As you reach the end of that pipeline, you need to treat these presentation conventions as your non-negotiable professional standards: proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, clear annotation. Practical application of this framework develops your real-world professional skills. Think about it. If consultant Alex hands me a supposedly brilliant analysis, but it's scribbled on a piece of paper without proper headings or clear annotations, it's getting instantly rejected from the boardroom. The examiners feel exactly the same way when they read your paper. Always check your format before you submit your final pitch.
Welcome to Phase 4 Boardroom Level Evaluation. If the previous sections were just about getting your foot in the door, this is where you pull up a chair to the executive table to secure those top-tier Level 3 marks. Let's do a live diagnostic workshop right now. We'll call this Case 1. I want you to mentally put 60 seconds on the clock and notice the visual contrast we're looking at here. On one side, we have basic data interpretation. This is simply extracting facts from text and tables. It's basic. It's entry level. On the other side, we have critical analysis. The source material clearly states that higher-order comparative analysis requires identifying similarities and differences. How? By specifically using comparative connectives and then supporting each comparison with solid evidence to draw conclusions about relative importance. You can't just list facts and expect applause. You have to compare them, weigh them against each other, and tell the board exactly which one matters more and why. Let's move to Case 2 of our live audit, risk assessment. Consider the required ingredients for high-order assessment objectives. Building on that critical analysis we just talked about, you must evaluate the actual quality of the evidence you are working with. You must identify limitations in the data. You must outline any assumptions that have been made in the brief. You need to actively explore alternative interpretations. And most importantly, you must assess how all of these variables affect the final conclusions. You are essentially performing a rigorous risk assessment on your own answer to ensure it holds up under scrutiny. If you can justify your recommendations by actively addressing these 4 specific areas, your proposal becomes absolutely bulletproof. Finally, we reach Phase 5, the examiner's audit. Consider this the final diagnostic, focusing on the ultimate red flags identified by the principal examiners themselves. Here's a massive, flashing red light straight from the source material. Examiner alert. Candidates consistently confuse key terminology. Listen to me on this one. The strict, unbreakable rule here is that you must always define your terms before using them in extended responses. It's a structural necessity. If you start talking about a breach of objectivity in a scenario, but you haven't laid the groundwork by actually defining what objectivity is for the examiner, you lose structural credibility instantly. Don't jump ahead, lay the foundation, explicitly define the term, and then build your executive argument on top of it. Let's systematically audit the top 3 reasons sample answers lose that structural credibility, as noted time and time again by the examiners. Row 1, the classic trap of using the wrong approach for the wrong context. You absolutely must tailor your framework to the specific, unique scenario provided in the brief. Row 2, forgetting to check format and presentation. We've already discussed how vital proper headings and annotations are. Don't let easy method marks slip away because you were rushing. Row 3, answers that are completely lacking specific context. Generic, pre-memorized textbook answers will not score high marks here. The board spots them a mile away. You have to apply the core principles to the exact company or the exact scenario detailed in your client brief. To help you avoid literally all of these mistakes when you're under immense time pressure, lock in this highly screen-grabbable memory hack right now, the IOC framework. IOC, integrity, objectivity, competence. Whenever you are faced with an ethical dilemma in the exam, I want you to instantly write down IOC in the margins of your paper.
Use this simple acronym to mentally structure your contextual factors before you even start writing your final pitch. It guarantees that you will address the 3 main pillars, and it keeps your procedural pipeline flowing smoothly and logically. So, you now have the executive framework checklist. You understand the cognitive domains, the strict procedural pipeline, and the exact traps you need to avoid. Keep practicing those past papers, applying this corporate methodology. And I leave you with this final provocative thought. When you walk into that exam hall, is your next response going to be a messy, unstructured collection of random data points like consultant Alex? Or is it going to be a seamlessly structured, highly persuasive, boardroom-ready executive pitch? If you want to keep refining your elite consulting skills and ensure you secure those top grades, you need to subscribe to Ace the Exams at Ace the Exams. Make sure you enable the notification bell so you don't miss a masterclass, and comment down below with your current academic level and your target subject. Class dismissed. I'll see you in the next boardroom session.